Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. We're here tonight to discuss some Disney films. You know, got Bambi, Snow White. We're keeping it light tonight. I'm joined by producer Todd.
Yeah, it wasn't funny.
That joke was lame.
I know.
Bambi in a gimp mask. That's funny.
They don't even wear gimp masks.
You told me before we go on the air not to make children jokes, and all you do is talk about children's entertainment.
I don't know. There's Kruger.
Well, it fits a prerogative for him, so.
We're 1 minute in. I'm trying to be funny. Maybe that one fell flat.
That was the shit.
You want a retake? We'll take to it.
Fuck it. That's
No.
good. I have natural charm that works, even if the joke isn't. So, there you go.
All right.
Well, hello, Kruger. How are you
yeah.
doing tonight?
Well, I'm very good because we were reviewing August Underground, which is a series that I've been waiting for a very long time to talk about on the show, and just talk about in general. I've been I discovered these movies around the time I first watched the first American Guinea Pig, because like that kind of kicked off my extreme horror. I mean, I had seen other extreme horror movies, but that really kicked off me diving into the genre. And August Underground, the first one, was one of the first movies I had watched when I was getting really deep into the extreme horror fucking iceberg, as you would say. And I'm glad that August Underground finally got re-released, put on Blu-ray from Unearthed Films. And thank you, Unearthed Films, for sending us the screeners for these, because I've been very eager to check out how the restorations are and just see how these movies look, especially compared to what the Blu-ray that was already out was. And August Underground, though, if there's ever a movie franchise that is just not for everybody, it is this one. And while I am a fan, and I do like these movies quite a bit. They're not like holy ground for me. I'm not going to hate you if you don't like an August Underground movie. But at the same time, like, I do think there's a lot that these movies have going for it that maybe not the average viewer sees.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was funny, your social media posts where it's like romantic date night.
Yeah, me and my girl. Yeah,
August Underground.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend, because she's she's not like an extreme horror aficionado, but she does love extreme horror. She has been hounding me since, honestly, we've gotten together to watch these movies. So I was happy to finally make her wish come true. And
normally these posts would be like, you know, it's just going to be like Robert Pattinson, Drew Barrymore, Tom Hanks, you know, Meg Ryan. It's like, no, we're going to watch them. There you go. Fred Vogel, Krusty, and the gang. We'll just... Nothing says I love you like a little Bo snuff.
Well, me, on the other hand, I have avoided these movies, had no desire to see these movies.
Why though?
To me, it's like I don't need to watch a 90-minute effects reel. I really want a story. I want something more to it. That was always my opposal, because you know me, I don't mind going. I like, you know, especially then when these came out, it's just something about it. And I don't know, something about, I never connected. And I kind of, now that I watched them, I'll talk about that.
My just short story, obviously, then we'll dive into the Blu-rays and the movies themselves. I saw these pretty much when they came out, because they were really notorious. That Rue Morgue article, and I actually know some people that were involved in this, but which I'll get into. But saw them back then. Any kind of notorious movie I was going to see, they kind of came in the wake of the Eric Stanzi stuff like Scrapbook and Ice from the Sun. So I had to see them. I saw them once right when they came out. I saw them again I want to say for a show I was going to do on Creep Show Radio back in the day that we didn't end up doing, because I want to say Chris told us he didn't want us to. So that's like my watches, and this will be like the third watch of all the films. So I will say at one point they inspired me. I was like, I'm going to top this, which I had the beginnings of a script that was pretty fucked up. I was going to use a lot of people in the BDSM world because I figured I could get a lot of really crazy shit for free and real, put it right up on the camera. And I'm eager to talk a little bit about that, because whatever you think about these movies, and I have some strong opinions from different people that I've talked to about these, whatever you think, they have endured now for years. For many, many years. We're going on a quarter century. So let's see. Maybe that they have merit. Maybe they're pieces of crap. I don't know what you guys will have to say.
They could be both too.
They could be both. All right. So we kick it off with 2001, the Fred Vogel toe tag film, August Underground, which should show it off here, which I think we're okay, at least the front cover there. New from Unearthed Films. And I once again, the first time these have officially been mass distributed. Imagine walking down the street and finding an unmarked VHS tape. Curiosity piqued, you take it home and pop it in, and what starts off as two men screaming around with the video camera quickly transforms into an ultra-realistic torture sequence where the unidentified psychopaths tape their exploits as they torment and violate a woman tied to a chair. The devastation of your morals continue throughout the entirety of the footage, while subtly revealing the killer's shattered pasts via the interaction with their victims and each other. The most shockingly realistic portrait of a serial killer's existence is Fred Vogel's August Underground. All right, so just a little bit of background on this film, which actually it all started because Fred Vogel worked at Tom Savini's effects school, and he was looking to do a zombie film called Elysium. And that was kind of the beginnings of this, but as a lot of indie filmmakers discover, budget-wise, that just maybe wasn't doable at the time. This was not like the first attempt at something like this, because once again, Eric Stanzi, Scrapbook, it came out a couple, I want to say 99, 2000, like right before this. So it wasn't the first of its kind, but it definitely caught on more than Scrapbook did for whatever reason. And
they promoted the hell out of those films. Toe Tag and Fred, they were out there. They were fucking pushing those movies.
Yes,
there's a reason they are known.
There is, and he suffered for these movies. There's that infamous story when they were going to a convention in Canada, and he got detained. He like violated, I think it was something like 26 obscenity laws. They took all their shit, and they pretty much had to go to the convention empty-handed. Yeah. I mean, and it didn't start off with just him. Alan Peters, not his real name, but that was his partner, and his partner left because he was afraid how this film would affect his personal life. Infamously, the girl in the chair. Also, he has not talked to her since he made the movies. She's not on these extra features. You watch it, and this movie is exactly what he set out to make. Now, it's going to have a lot of differing opinions, but this is meant to be something that you would just come across and maybe you would believe was actually a legit snuff tape, minus the actual credits, which 9/11, I think, kind of nixed a lot of the plans to just leave these in like city parks and on a bus and all that crap. I can
that's
only
what
fucking
Steven
imagine.
Dude, that's what Steven did with American Guinea Pig, the first one. He just started leaving fucking tapes out. I think he put some at a playground somewhere. Like fucking like be doing some heinous shit so people fucking thought that they got a snuff film. And I mean, that's what this movie I can just go right into what I think about this film because I
hot tag. I'll go over
this is
history more too.
This is exactly what this movie sets out to be. It sets out to shock you and be a very uncomfortable, disturbing experience. And when I first watched this movie, I was very uncomfortable. I thought this was one of the most fucked up things I had ever seen in my life. But also as a fan of found footage, I was glad that we had something in that genre that pushed the boundaries to this extent. The gore in this movie isn't plentiful in the first one. It gets a little bit crazier in Mortom and stuff, and then there's some solid bits in Penance as well. But this one's kind of the like less the more tame of the trilogy, I guess I would say. And but what's there is really fucking disgusting, really fucking uncomfortable to watch. And that's kind of why I like these movies. They make me feel very uneasy, kind of make me look over my shoulder and make sure, nobody else is watching when I'm watching them. And, it's not like I go and revisit these movies every single year. This is a once every couple of years thing. And mainly because I'm showing somebody else these movies. But I do like revisiting this one especially just because of the torture sequence with the girl in the chair. I think that's one of the most disturbing and fucking disgusting scenes in cinema history, to be honest with you. Shitty titty, not fucking cool. And but I do really I enjoy the fuck out every time I watch this movie. And the one thing I will say about not only this movie, but just the whole franchise, regardless if you like what's going on screen or not, these motherfuckers are very goddamn convincing. And I think all of them deserve a fucking round of applause for the anguish, the fear, the, torture that they're able to portray on screen, because it fucking hits you to your core. At least in my opinion, I think the acting from everybody in this franchise is, for the most part, very good, especially with the people that are having the fucked up shit happen to them or are doing the fucked up shit. But this one, as far as like where I put them with the other movies, I'll save that till the end. But I do like, I think this is a fucking gem, and I think it is one of those movies you need to watch at least once to fucking say you did. And whether you want to go to future rewatches at some point or not, that's debatable. You could say that about a lot of the other extreme horror, greats like Serbian film, fucking Salo, even Antichrist. Like, those movies are mean as fuck. This is no different. And I like that it's told in that found footage format, because as far as extreme found footage movies, don't have a lot of them. And this was one of the I think, one of the Godfathers, if not the God. I think you said Scrapbook came out beforehand. Haven't seen that movie. Need to fucking do that.
It's coming out on Blu-ray from what is out partner label for
end of the month, actually, I believe.
Yeah, Saturn. I think it's Saturn's Core.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out eventually. But I praise this movie a lot, and it's not like one of my favorite extreme horror films, nor do I put it like on the Mount Rushmore of them or even the pinnacle. But as far as found footage movies go, this is one that like I throw in a bunch. Like, if somebody asks me, "Hey, what's some found footage movies that you recommend?" I always throw this one in the bunch like an asshole. So
I think like, I'm a big Roberta and Michael Finley fan. This definitely delivers where their movie Snuff did not. That movie's got an interesting story, but the movie's really kind of lame. Yeah. And Yeah, I mean, it's very specifically what they intended it to be. If you need that clear narrative, if you need suspense, because there's not really suspense, you don't get to know any of these characters. Well, victims, I should say. Probably ain't ending well
But
at that point. But
as
it's effective. That's what they were going for. This is something somebody found, and it's like a window into these really fucked up minds. The most disturbing thing about it is when they're doing normal shit more than just the actual torture. It's just, oh, you can cut these body parts off and then go and play with model trains. It's like that's the most disturbing part about it, I think. But you were saying, Kruger, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I mean, I disagree that there isn't like any suspense, because there's a lot. The first time I watched this movie, I think there's some suspense in just the fact that you're like, what the fuck are they going to do to this poor girl next? I mean, Jesus Christ, they've just rubbed feces all over her. But I also, I get what you're saying with the narrative thing. And I'm one of those guys that, like, I don't need a strong story to just enjoy something that takes me on a ride. And I think that's kind of what this movie does.
Okay. Todd.
All right. So what do you think of my problem? Let's just see if anyone.
I know you like a lot of fucked up shit, but you also like a more traditional story.
But I can watch stuff with no story. I do like slice of life, days of movies. A lot of A24s are just like kind of a day in the life of, stuff like that, like a Zola or something. I mean, obviously not extreme, but just a day in the life snapshot. Don't really need a plot, but you're just kind of going through things.
Sure.
All right.
Character development in that case, though.
I think my biggest issue is I do not connect with our leads. They are annoying fucking that drove me insane the whole fucking time. So like it's like I'm not. I mean, let's be real. We're watching these for a specific reason, to watch people get tortured. So if I'm not with the torturers, what the fuck am I watching? Like I don't care either way. It's like, these guys are fucking annoying. Shut the fuck up. And just, it's like, it drove me insane. Like, and then them doing their day-to-day stuff. It's like, these are the fucking kind of people I want to see the bad things happen to. And I couldn't, it just drove me insane. Like, the stuff that they show was cool, but I disliked our killers so much, it was a turnoff.
Do you think, though, like, because when Fred Vogel made this, and he talks about this, he's talked about it over the years, like, he had an issue with like serial killer movies of the time, a lot of which I don't think he uses the term romanticizing, but cleans up the killers, because we've all seen those movies where we're watching like a movie on Ted Bundy, and very rarely do they actually go to the fact that like this was a seriously fucked up individual. He's a little too. You know what I mean? Like, these guys
I understand
are supposed to be
it's
like,
not fucked up though. It's how fucking annoying they were.
Yeah,
they are. But is that more realistic?
Well, that's the thing I think that I like about it is like, yeah, they're fucking annoying incel looking motherfuckers, but that's realistic. And like, when did Columbine happen?
That would have been before this, 99.
So like 99. So I can see what they were going for, because they weren't going for your typical, not everybody can be fucking Michael Rooker and Henry Portrait of the Serial Killer and be cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have those fucking nerds that got picked on at school, and they what they do is they go out and fucking find people that they can fucking pick on and torture. And I think they convey those type of characters. Whether you want to watch them or not, that's one thing. But like, I think they're annoying on purpose. And I mean, I get what you're saying. It's off-putting at times, but
I think it's intentional.
It's 100% intentional.
It's not bad acting or anything. I think he really was just like, this guy's like a disgusting
pig, dude. There's a reason his fucking his ass crack is out fucking through the whole freaking franchise.
I wanted to stick him in a fucking locker the whole goddamn time. See, that's my problem. I was like, these fucking pussies I couldn't do it.
But that's what they would. That's who would fucking be doing this shit, Todd. Is
That's
the motherfucker you shove in the locker?
I understand that, but you also see my problem. I couldn't.
Todd's the prequel.
I had no one
Todd's
to
the
relate to.
reason
I had
for
no
it
one to
all.
relate to.
You like fucking David Hess, the cool motherfucker that's
No,
doing the fucked up shit. But
we
like,
could have Kevin Gage. Hell no, because I love Miranda murders. Those two fuckers are not cool in any sense of the word. But yet they're still cooler than these fuckers.
I don't know.
They're more interesting, I guess.
Maybe that's it, because there was not like maybe it comes back to the whole like it is just no plot, and I have no reason to do anything but hate them. So all of my whole time watching, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Words I can't say on YouTube. Shut the fuck up.
If you had a pretty girl to kind of follow,
that was another problem.
That's what I'm saying. If you had a pretty girl to kind of follow why she was going through all this fucked up shit, why these two incels are fucking rubbing shit on her titties, that I can see like that could give you the in of like, fuck them. I want to see them fucking get fucked up. I mean, there's definitely ways to make this movie better for sure. But I think you have to fucking like, regardless if you find them annoying or not, you gotta appreciate what the fuck they're channeling. Like that, it's on purpose.
I get that, but if it's something that is so like I can't overlook it. These are the type of people I want to punch in the face.
I get that. Now here's the thing though. This movie I don't think has the same legs if we get like a background flashback on the girl. It becomes a more standard movie, and I don't think it would be talked about.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you just like are looking at like little times where she fights these two fucking disgusting bastards that are doing this shit there.
Well, she's the girl tied to the chair. Obviously, at this point, she's so fucked up that there's not a connection. She's already fucked the second I see her on frame. So yeah, there's not that same suspense, but that's not what this movie is trying to be. I've had some conversations. I've just talked about when I mentioned we were doing this, and very similar. It's just like, there's no plot. And I'm like, yeah, but remember the whole idea was this was supposed to be as though you're a window into random bullshit that somebody might go around filming. That's why there's those scenes where they're just filming some like cow or some haystacks.
And that just felt like it was like, to me, I was like, that's just padding because they're in between stuff. They could,
but I don't think I would call it padding under these circumstances, because it wouldn't all be like, people film random bullshit.
No, I get that, but that's literally what it feels like. Like, we're shooting these scenes. We're gonna go shoot random bullshit.
Yeah,
so
but
this movie is X amount. I understand the concept. Yeah. I understand like why it needed to be like that. It doesn't work for me. Maybe if I would have saw it 20 years ago, or what year did this come out?
2001.
Okay, so yeah, maybe if I would have saw it 22 years ago, my opinion would be a little different. But even then, I kind of knew there's a reason I did not watch it.
I've been at several conventions he's been at, but I've had 2 actual interactions with him and some of the other toe tag people. Both, he's a lovely guy, awesome guy. I think a lot of shit that went down with these movies probably did hurt him quite a bit, which again, I highly recommend you watch some of the extra features, because he does dive into that. He lost relationships over this. But I do want to put that over. One of the nicest people you could possibly meet, his wife, Shelby, who we'll talk about also later in some of these sequels. Wonderful person as well. I don't really know them personally or anything, but the interactions that I've had over the years on social media and through a couple conventions, really sweet people. It's amazing the kind of things that I have heard said about them over the years.
Here's the fucking thing that drives me goddamn crazy about fucking just people in general now. If you make something like this, you're automatically considered a piece of shit. And it's fucking stupid because typically the people that are working on these fucked up movies, dumbass, are fucking usually the nicest fucking people in the world. We're just a little fucked up in the head and we like some fucked up shit. And sometimes you just want to show fucked up shit to fucking people to see a reaction. There ain't nothing fucking wrong with that. And like that, it's frustrating because like movies like this and movies like a Serbian film, they're always going to just be fucking pigeonholed into that. Fuck that movie. It's, misogynistic garbage. And it isn't when you fucking sit down and think, and like, regardless if you like the movie or not, if you sit down and listen to what the filmmakers are trying to do, you can understand where the fucking art is.
Sure. No, absolutely. He did exactly what he set out to make. I don't think he fucked up in any way in making this movie. I mean, the mission statement, he meets it. And I will also throw out, and I know this is also a source of a lot of pain for him. He has made other movies. I'm going to say it right now. Red Sin Tower, I think, is really good. Red Sin Tower is a great movie where people can see it.
We need to get our hands on his I can't remember what it's called. It's like Interview with a Serial Killer. I heard that is so fucking good.
The final interview.
Yeah, the final interview. That's it.
Interview.
I heard that's so good. I really, really want to get my hands on that. If there's any fucking way we can make that happen with Fred Vogel, I fucking would love to fucking review his movie.
It's hard to break out of that extreme label. Some have managed to do it better than others. Fred's made a handful of films. It's not a massive catalog, but like I said, Red Sin Tower is amazing. I like that better than this, personally.
He made a monster movie too.
Maskhead, and
that's the one. I saw that movie when I was a kid, believe it or not, and like really liked it a lot.
He's a very talented effects artist. There is something here, and of course we're going to talk about the other films because these do evolve a little bit, somewhat, which we'll get into. But
for sure. But on the first one, we might as well rate it. We've spent almost a half hour on it, so for me, I'm a 3.5 out of 5. Again, big surprise. Most people would probably think I'd go higher, but I understand these movies aren't for everybody. I understand you have to be in a certain type of mood, but for me personally, I found merit in them enough to rewatch them over the years, and whether that be showing somebody, hey, you like fucked up shit, you like found footage, I got something for you, or it's just like I just kind of just want something to shock me and make me feel a little gross. These are the movies for me. So August Underground, the first one. 3.5 out of 5 from Michael Kruger. Stamp of approval, though, especially if you're a found footage fan. I think that's the thing. I think if you're a found footage fan, you need to see this movie because it just gives you something different than most of the genre ever does.
Okay. Todd, who will be lower?
Yeah. I'm because the effects are great and everything. It's just that, like I said, my big issue was not liking our leads. I'm a 2.5. I'm gonna be in the middle on this one because
that's generous.
Because I think, like I said, I like the effects. I mean, my issues are,
but the keywords there, you're not supposed to like them.
But see, here's the thing.
I get it. I get where you're coming from, and that's because I'm gonna.
But see, that's a huge thing for me when I'm watching something like this.
Yeah.
If I'm annoyed by the lead, I'm not enjoying myself.
Yeah. No.
I want to be in the room, and I don't want to be like, "Shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking bitch." See, that doesn't work for me. I would be like, "Yeah, get that bitch," but I wasn't. That's my biggest problem with something like this.
I think that.
And it's not on the filmmakers, and there's a reason I always knew not to watch it because it wasn't going to connect.
No, I get that. And it's not going to connect with most people. I think it's a rite of passage film, as long as you can handle, obviously, trigger warnings for everything in these movies. It's very authentic to what he was trying to make. I get what he was going for. It's not for everybody, but I do think he made something quite original now. And again, we're going on a quarter of a century, and these are going to find a lot of new fans and detractors now. I'm really kind of interested because I've even been told by a couple people we probably shouldn't review these. So
they can suck my dick from the back. Fuck you, motherfuckers.
See,
from the bottom of my heart.
But that's the thing. Strong opinions, either way you go, and there's something there. There's something there.
I almost slipped.
My thing is, whatever I feel about them, they 100% have a right to exist and should.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't.
They're very
no. The movies themselves.
Oh no, I was gonna say that those people. Fuck.
Well, yeah, they do too. But yeah, fuck them. Whatever.
Well, we're Flesh Wound Features. We do what we want. God damn it. We don't just review Halloween movies all the time.
Except for the ones Dan's afraid to review on regular YouTube that have to end up on Patreon.
Well, yeah, there's certain things, but it's a hard movie to rate. It really is. I mean, there's not a lot of rewatch value. This is my third go round of these films. And I give a 3 to the first one, but it is definitely something that if you're an adventurous cinephile, give it a shot once just to say you watched it and see where you lie. I mean, whether or not he's successful, I think he's successful as far as the portrayal of these killers, because a lot of killers they're not necessarily interesting as far as their day-to-day. And I think, that's the thing.
Can we say this though? I think if you do not like Mortom, or you do not like the first one, you're not going to like Mortom, and you fucking sure as hell are not going to like Penance.
Not necessarily, but we'll get into it. I don't want to get ahead, but
I'm saying as far as the content itself.
Oh yeah. No,
No, I'm not saying stories and shit. I'm saying the content itself.
It doesn't get better.
If you watched August Underground, do not watch August Underground Mortom thinking that you're going to like it, because you're not. It's going to be bad. But that's a good segue to get into Mortom. And I hate to go again, but I really need to talk about this movie.
Cool. I will not show the cover art, I guess.
Yeah, don't do that.
But the sequel, or also I should say, now this is from, which I'll get into, because this is not just Fred Vogel. This is from directed by Fred Vogel, Christy Wiles, who plays Krusty, Michael T. Schneider, Maggot, Jeremy Cruz, and Killjoy. So this is a ensemble picture, and I'll talk a little bit about the history of it before I tag you in for the review. All right, so the sequel to the cult classic August Underground is a character study in the sick, an immoral, putrid fantasy. The found footage contained in August Underground's Mortom documents extreme, deviant sexuality, torture, and murder, while unfolding a classic tale of a man and a woman in love. However, the woman cannot give up her other lover, who also happens to be her younger brother. August Underground's Mortom will vomit all over you and leave you for dead.
Before you say anything else, I just need to say one line from the movie. You fuck your brother, bitch!
There you go.
Dude, in the first 5 minutes, again, you're going to know right away if you need to turn these fucking movies off.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you hear if you fuck your brother, bitch, you need to turn this shit off immediately if that offends you.
With the way porn is now, it's not going to offend many.
Well, I'm not saying stepbrother, bro.
Yeah, there was some blood there. Some background before we get into the movies. So, Mortom actually started off. Killjoy of the band Necrophagia had obviously seen August Underground and contacted Fred Vogel and wanted to basically, it started off as a music video for Killjoy's band. And then, of course,
Necrophagia, FYI, is fucking
Mhm.
the fucking shit, dude. That's the
Yeah.
shit.
It's not my thing, but
Oh.
I know there's a lot of fans. out there.
Reborn with Black Mass or fucking Fear the Priest, two of the hardest fucking horror metal songs you could ever listen to.
Now, this one is a little bit different in some ways because there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen. In fact, even if you don't like these films, I encourage you to check out the extras because they go into it. Fred Vogel and Michael Todd Schneider, Maggot, they had a pretty big falling out. I won't run down the whole story, but there's the Maggot cut. He was editing the movie while Fred Vogel was in Europe, I believe, doing something with Necrophagia. A lot of drama back and forth because Vogel, I think, was a little more like, let's try and focus on this brother-sister relationship a little bit more rather than like, oh, okay, we got this random scene of you fucking a torso or, that sort of thing. So there was like
a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, there was some kind of clashing, I think, with where they wanted to go with it. This is definitely the most famous of the three, I would say.
Yeah, for
we'll
sure.
See if that holds up.
Yep.
Yeah, Mortom is always like name dropped as like, oh, well, that's the best one. Now we'll see though, because a lot of people are going to be watching these for the first time who weren't able to get them before. Yeah, so this one definitely ups the fucked up factor. In all honesty, I think the best actor in this entire franchise is Christy Wiles, who plays Krusty.
Over Fred, really?
Yeah, I think throwing a woman in the mix really adds something.
I have a question. Is Fred supposed to be the same character from the? Is that the?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah. Was it Fred in the last one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they may not have actually.
It's not his name's not Fred, but that's the director.
Yeah. No, I know that Fred Vogel's the director. That's what I'm saying.
Peter was the character name.
Okay.
Now, and I don't know if the original names him though, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's why I was unsure, like because it doesn't.
No, but they're all the same character.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought, but it throw me off because I was like, Fred Vogel's playing in the
movie.
I'm like,
there is something a little confusing about the last one, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I'll bring that up. But,
yeah, well, that was a little because the way they are, you're just kind of like, here it is. You kind of got to pick up. So that's the one thing I thought, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. I knew you guys would confirm.
Yeah. And so this one absolutely ups the nastiness. There's a lot of really rough stuff in here in terms of gore and all of that. These are still relatively low budget movies. They got a lot of props actually from Ryan Nicholson. Ryan Nicholson gave them props, including the tub girl, a whole bunch of different things. So actually, extreme filmmakers kind of coming together behind the scenes, which is interesting. There was no script for this one. This one, a lot of it was just it was winged because again, it started off as just they were going to do this music video. I've got a little more to say, but I'll hot tag out to you, Kruger, because just wanted to get out some of the history of it. But yeah, what did you think? I'm sure you love this one because it's a lot nastier.
Mortom is some shit, but this is actually my least favorite of the franchise. I think a big reason is so like with August Underground, you have some times to like calm the fuck down. This is just so chaotic from start to finish that like it is just such a sensory like fuck what is going on shit that like I like this movie a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's my least favorite of all of them. just because of that. It's just too much.
It doesn't feel real. Now that is why
that's what I'm
maybe-
saying. It's just it's so much. Like, granted, the opening scene is so disgusting. I mean, when she cuts that piece off and says she wants to fuck it, I knew we were ready for some shit, and like that was great. But then I felt like we needed some time to calm down, and we just never do. It's just always like fucking, you know, balls to the wall. We're fucking doing some disgusting shit, and a later movie, when we move on to Penance, I think does that actually well. It kind of balances out a little bit, but this just really just goes hard. And I respect
severed member scene. We'll just say,
well, dude, again, like cutting the piece off of somebody and saying you want to
inserting it into someone else.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, some of the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. The also, like, the one thing, I feel like I shouldn't even talk about this, but the thing that's really fucked up about the maggot cut is that thing he's FYI. And just write that down. So like that is what makes that even a whole, like, if you really listen, and that's the other thing about this movie, it's very easy just to get back and just watch and like not really listen to anything going on. But if you're really listening, there is some sort of story being told there. It's just in the most chaotic fucking form possible. So you have to be fully immersed. Like I said, these movies are just a fucking ride. And man, I love this one too. I'm a fan of all these movies, but this one is even just a little too chaotic for me. And even my girlfriend, we watched it, and like this was my favorite for a long time. Maybe this is me fucking getting old. I don't know. But when I watched the first one and I watched this, I was like, I really like the first one just a lot more because I fucking had some time.
It's more realistic.
Well, it's more realistic, and I had more time to absorb what the fuck I just saw. And then this, like, I saw one of the most fucked up things I think I've ever seen in a movie. And then I'm put right back into more fucked up shit, and I'm not able to absorb it right.
This one, even though it does have more story, it feels like more of an endurance test. And there's actually one part where I kind of laughed because it is just so far out there where at a certain point it's like, this is so fucked up. It's starting to crack me up a little bit. The scene where Krusty calls Peter a slur, and then he's like, "You're a brother fucker."
Yeah,
just like and just that meltdown. Like, I actually kind of started to laugh at it a little bit. I know that probably wasn't intentional, but
no, it was hilarious. So
it was funny.
That felt like it knew a laugh was coming.
this is like pure pornography. I like Christy Wiles a lot. I actually think she's somebody I would have been interested to see her do more. Like traditional acting. She was in Murder Set Pieces for like a cameo.
Dude, I need to see that fucking movie. God damn it.
You really do.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I didn't know you haven't.
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen. Because
be careful, they released a cut.
Well, that's exactly why the only reason I haven't watched that movie is because I haven't been able to find the cut I want. Like, once I know that there's the cut that's the definitive, this is the most fucked up you can watch. Yeah.
I figure we can just do Nutbag and Murder Set Pieces.
Well, I'm just
double done.
Let's be real, dude. We're waiting for Uncle Steven to fucking release it.
But has there been any talk of it?
Maybe eventually. I'm sure, especially now with some of the stuff going on, it's probably.
I think the problem lies with the Lionsgate.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, owning it.
This movie is also the scene with the girl hanging upside down. I remember, I think he actually told this story at a convention way back in the day. I probably met him for the first time now, like 20 years ago, or close to that. They had an actress who actually had a drug fit initially for that scene. So they had to replace her with Shelby, who I don't think he wasn't married to her yet, but his soon-to-be wife had to replace her. So, like, you can imagine this whole scene. And through my chiller days, I know Art Edinger, who appears in the film from Ultraviolet magazine. I used to know him, used to hang out with him at Chiller with their mutual friend Colin Rogers. And I can only imagine, like, you're just this set, which has to be so disgusting, because sometimes you do have moments on horror sets where you're not really bothered by anything, but sometimes you almost forget. Like, I can only imagine somebody tripping out on drugs while you're in this filthy looking room.
One thing I wanted to add in here, because you were talking about the con stuff. Did you guys know that Gunnar Hansen was supposed to play Fred's character's dad at one point in these?
He was a fan of the movie, oddly enough. Gunnar loved it. Tom Savini did not. Tom Savini thought it was trash. Bill Heinzman's another one that I guess he got a copy at a convention and he liked it, which actually kind of surprises me. But
Gunnar was supposed to play Fred's dad at some point in the franchise, and I always thought that was a cool little tidbit, because Fred's favorite weapon in the movie was always a hammer. So
there's callbacks to, like, Last House on Dead End Street, Texas.
Well, dude, there's a callback to Texas Chainsaw in this one, I believe, with the guy's leg fucking shaking when he hits him in the head with the hammer.
Oh, go ahead, Todd.
All right. Well,
what did you think?
I know Kruger's talking about there's like no like time to calm down, but if I'm the killer and I'm making a tape, this is the tape I'm gonna make versus the last one. Like, I don't need all this bullshit where we're doing that. I'm just making, that's the editor in me. I'm making us the best tape we're getting with all the highlights of murder. So, and this one is like that relentless thing. Now, the first thing I gotta say, I liked Krusty cucking Peter.
Peter.
So I mean, I think that was the balance I needed from the first one, and like
her character into the story. Yeah, I get that.
And it gave me, like, because that was the problem. It was just two people I didn't like.
And then Krusty comes in. She's like manipulating the dude. I get what you mean. Like, it's way more interesting.
Yeah, and I liked some of the more extreme stuff we did in this one. An abdomen was mentioned, or maybe a different, but whatever. I'm not saying I loved it, but I had a lot more fun with this one. Yeah, to me it was a step up. And it works because of how much I disliked him in the first one. So now watching the brother fucker, I was just like, all right, this bitch is cool. Let's see what happens.
She adds an extra element to it that I think at least makes it more interesting. I agree. And it's weird because I do think the original is more effective in what it's trying to be.
It is. I agree with that. That is exactly, the tape you'd find. That's the tape you'd find.
No, yeah, and this is just more of the fun, like, all right, we're just going to go balls to the wall crazy, but we're also going to give you a little bit of story here, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's all it needed, was just a little bit.
Well, and there's some really gross shit in this movie. There are maggots. There are a lot of very unpleasant sexual things. It's
dude. Again, this is one of the most fucked. Like, when people put out those lists of most fucked up movies of all time, Mortom is usually on there, and I mean, it is for a reason. But just for me personally, I do enjoy the first film more, but again, all three of these films are kind of like on the same level for me, because I could, like, when I watch them, I kind of want to just go through this fucking dark descent into found footage depravity. And again, if you're a found footage fan, and you like some fucked up shit, this is definitely like the stuff to watch. And and also, you know, we talked about American Guinea Pig before. One movie that I just wanted to bring up randomly while we were talking about this, because it just kind of reminds me of August Underground to a certain extent. Fucking Devil's Weekend, which this motherfucker fucking showed me. Holy fucking shit. If you need some fucked up found footage shit that is similar to August Underground, check out some Devil's Weekend, man. It's a French found footage horror film that is crazy as fuck.
Wild Eye put it out.
Yeah, Wild Eye put it out, and that's probably the best movie I've seen Wild Eye put out, in my opinion. That and Doll Syndrome. Doll Syndrome as well was fucking awesome, but those are
Cat Sick Blues.
Cat Sick Blues.
Oh shit! Yeah, I
That's
forgot.
the three.
I
There's
forgot.
the three. Yeah, I know.
Cat Sick Blues is Mount Rushmore of Wild Eye titles.
That is true. But back to August Underground Mortem. It earns its fucking it earns its spot on like one of the most fucked up movies of all time. But just for me personally, again, it's on the same level as the first movie. But I do enjoy the first movie more just because I'm able to absorb shit more. This is just more like Todd said, it effects real, but you do get story with it too. So whether you want to say it's better than the first movie or not, I can't really argue with you there. But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones on, if you're an extreme horror fan, you need to watch August Underground and Mortom, but Mortom especially because it's always on the top 10 list of most fucked up movies of all time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to rank those someday. But yeah, so it's definitely the aliens to the alien in terms of upping the ante, I suppose. Weird comparison, but rating it. I'm actually giving it the same rating. A lot of people may enjoy this more. I don't think it's as effective. I'm curious to see what the impact it'll have now for all these people that are going to be watching it for the first time. But I give it the same rating. In terms of just nasty, vile shit, you get it here. I wouldn't believe that I was watching a real tape, though.
Now here's what I'll say, though, and like question for everybody. When it comes to nasty, vile shit, I mean, I feel like this has to be up there. If somebody comes to you and you're like, I need the nastiest, most disgusting, fucked up horror movie I could possibly fucking have.
Depends on the person and how they define that, though. Because for some people, like, yeah, I'm not.
Let's say the average viewer, you show them this, they're gonna be like, you know what I mean?
Maybe like, what's wrong with you? Yeah. I get it.
I mean, somebody though, like Fucked Up, Found is a very fucked up movie.
Still need to watch that.
Found is Found is brilliant. I think Found is
Found's brilliant, but Found also compared to Headless, it's not even on the same.
Well, let's just again though ending.
Yeah. Okay. Calm down, guys.
I gotta watch them.
I get the ending, Dan, but as a whole, that other movie is some shit.
This will be on a lot of lists. It just depends on the person.
So
but I'm a 3. Okay. I'm a 3, same rating. Yeah.
I'm giving it a whole extra point because sorry, Fred, watching Krusty torture Fred made this one for me because he did such a good job in the last one of making me hate him. It worked. It was the payoff. 3.5.
Fuck yeah, Todd.
Awesome.
Glad we're on the same page.
And again, please dive into the extras, guys, because if you're just interested in movie making, indie filmmaking in general, there's a fascinating story. The whole Canada thing, obscenity laws in Canada are ridiculous, and a lot of people don't realize. There's some
dude, especially recently. Holy shit!
Yeah, like stand-up comedians being like fined. Like there's some there's some shit. We think of Canada as like this wonderful place, but there are some. Yeah, I won't shit on Canada, but
they got weirdos who stick needles in their dicks there. So what do you expect?
Yeah, this is true.
Friends of the show, Todd.
But we got August Underground Penance, and I hate to like trump you guys, but I gotta go first on this one too, because this one shocked the shit out of me. And
disclaimer, just do a brief synopsis. I know there's not much to give on it, and then I'll tag you in. So this is from 2007, so it's got a little bit of time in between, and there's not a lot other than to say it's the third film, and this time we pick up where we left off in the last film, which I don't want to spoil, but with Peter and Krusty hitting the road and going on another killing spree. So there you go. Hot tag, Kruger.
Dude, I don't know what well, first off, I thought I had seen this movie. Fucking didn't. I must have got it mixed up with something else. There's a couple other like little Bonnie and Clyde type movies like this in the found footage genre that I don't know, my mind blended them all together. So I saw this for the first time, and holy fucking shit did I enjoy the fuck out of this movie. First off, this is a Christmas movie, Todd.
It was. I was very pleased to see some trees.
There's some trees. They're very festive in their torture. I enjoyed watching Krusty and what's his name? I keep calling him Fred because I just know him by his name. Peter. Krusty and Peter finally go on their Bonnie and Clyde adventure, and that was really cool. The torture sequences aren't as crazy as Mortom, but by the end of the movie, they get as fucked up. They take it to a whole nother level. And I think that's kind of what August Underground at this point needed to do. Like, you need to figure out how to calm it down for Mortom a little bit, but also do something in it that would take it to the other echelon of fucked upness. And they definitely fucking nailed that here. There's some of the story is a little confusing, especially towards the end. But as a whole, I really enjoyed the fuck out of this. This is my second favorite August Underground movie. And I think, again, just the time to absorb the fucked upness. And then, especially with this movie, they escalate it. And then at the end, you're just kind of confused on what the fuck happened. I don't know. I just like the effect it had on me. And yeah, Krusty and Philip definitely work the best together. I think that like that duo is what makes this franchise.
Krusty and Peter.
Peter. Yeah, Peter. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
But yeah, this is my second favorite.
So, okay, so this one, there's a lot of things that are interesting about it. It is my favorite, and I'll elaborate.
Wow.
I think, so it's a little confusing at first because Krusty is different here. For some reason, they dropped sort of the goth punk aesthetic that she had in the previous movies. For the most part, she's just, no makeup or minimal makeup, and it kind of helps. It kind of develops her character a lot more in this. This one is the one, like, if you hated the first two, I feel like you might still get something out of this. It's still an extreme horror movie. There's a lot of gross shit, but this I felt like they were they're diving more into the personalities and the relationship of these two. I've said I think Christy Wiles is genuinely a great actress who probably at this point maybe will never get to show fully what she's capable of. This one is actually sad, and there's something depressing about it. Now it's confusing to the extent. I mean, this one you can have a conversation about after, because let's just say there's a change in Krusty's character that goes beyond just the look. That's interesting. I could see some people not liking it because it's like, why would there be this sudden
Change.
turnaround, and it's not explained.
But here's the thing. I just want to interrupt in there.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a little theory. August Underground fucking, fan theories here, but I think after Krusty lost, this is a spoiler, but I think that kind of broke her mental state a little bit more, and she wasn't able to handle all the things that she was doing with him and Fred Vogel's character. So I think after that loss of that caused her kind of to go into a crazier psychosis. And I think just the most powerful scene in the whole movie, and the scene that I just found the most fucked up. I mean, granted, we have being ripped out of bodies, but the scene that like is the most fucked up for me is when she's crying, and then you see how her boyfriend comforts her. It's really some shit, and I think it adds more to her character.
Yeah, I think it's actually more upsetting, and I think this movie's better made. There's still a lot. I mean, we don't go in depth, and we don't explore certain things. At first you almost feel like you might be watching a prequel, except there is a couple very brief references to that, make it obviously a sequel. I think what probably the most effective scene of horror in the entire trilogy, I know everybody goes back to, the girl being strung upside down, and, just the original girl just strapped to the chair. I think the Christmas scene, where a family is essentially obliterated in front of their Christmas tree, I think that is the most disturbing thing. It's not the most graphic.
Original.
No, but it is. The way they did that, I think, was super effective in a way that was just beyond like, oh, they're eating a bug, or they're, rubbing shit in somebody's, wound. I think that to me is like the peak of this, where I didn't feel like I was just watching a gore film or a fake snuff film with this one. I felt like I was getting a little bit more. The characters intrigued me more. If you hated the first two, if you just absolutely despise them, I don't know that is like to the point where it'll totally turn you around. But I do think psychologically this one's more interesting, and
I agree.
Krusty again adds a totally different dynamic to it that I think is really interesting. You mentioned the ending. I liked it. I thought it was interesting. Again, you kind of have to fill in some pieces there, because again, we're still watching snippets of video that psychopaths film, so you're not going to get that clear bow all tied up at the end. But I liked it. It makes sense. I think this is the best of the three. Todd, what say you, though?
Yes, I will be censoring myself. Don't worry, Dan. Don't need to send me the times when I say what I say. So, I like the second one a lot. This one, I got back to, I was like, you need to fucking man the fuck up and stop crying, you little fucking bitch. I could not do
Patreon.
There you go. So that, like, fucking, I was like, oh, god damn it. So, but other than that, I wasn't on part of the second one with the second one for me, but I still
had Can I ask you, do you agree they upped the ante with what they showed in this one? Because, like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they at least delivered and like, all right, I'm going to show you something really more fucked up than I showed you in the last
We
one.
get the scariest lion, real life lion I've seen in a movie. I think they were feeding that thing like
Dude,
fucking
that thing
monsters.
looked like it was fucking a devil.
I don't think they gave it water. They just fill up a trough of NOS energy drink
Nah,
and
dude,
just let him. That's all it gets.
I used to
Yeah.
want to know that Joe Exotic was in the background just yelling.
Yeah, right. Fucking
The remake, Todd.
Well, August Underground Penance. What do we give it, boys? For me, it's another 3.5. So it's a 3.5 across the board. But this is my August Underground Penance is my second favorite. Mortom is the last, but again, I like all these movies. And when I need when somebody asks me, like, look, I need some fucked up shit, I'm going to direct them towards August Underground Mortom. And then if they come back to me and are like, all right, I handled that, then I'm going to direct them in another way. But these are definitely some of the most depraved and fucked up films of all time. They're definitely probably the most fucked up found footage movies of all time. So if you're a found footage aficionado and you like extreme horror, these are for you. But if not, that's fine. But also understand there's some art to this shit. There really is. And eventually we do get a story, and there's stuff told in this that it's not just pornography. There is other things being brought into the fucking story and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a like if I was gonna fucking categorize this, pornography for sure.
Makes me so happy to hear that. I don't like the other term. Pornography is the way to go.
I think
torture porn.
Yeah, it's pornography. I fought for that forever when that shit was starting. Which one's cooler? I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, no.
This is the one where again, I'm not, if the first two did absolutely nothing for you, but I think there's enough here for fans of the psychological side of serial killers on this movie. Like I said, the first one is probably the most effective in terms of its gimmick. There's no way you could do that again after the first movie anyways, though. It's the Blair Witch effect. It's like, okay, we're not fooling anybody at this point. And I do think that Christy Wiles, it's a shame. She was somebody I never talked to her, but she was somebody I even considered casting at one point because I thought, like, shit, I think she's capable of more, especially after I saw Penance. She adds a lot here. I think Fred Vogel, I get your issues, Todd. I do think that sort of that's fairly realistic as to what the actual, person would be in real life. So I do think he gives a good performance.
I don't see Ted Bundy being a whiny little bitch. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Ted Bundy didn't rub shit on
it.
titties. He wasn't that crazy.
He could have.
Well, you dive Ted Bundy, they don't really show just how fucked up he could be, but yeah, no, this one I think there is more to it than just the puking and the fucked upness of it. There's a little more going on here. So I give this one 3.5. It is my favorite. Will I watch these again anytime soon? No. I don't think these are like for me anyways, not like I'm gonna watch it every year or anything. But kudos to Christy Wiles. Kudos to Fred Vogel for making a trilogy that's endured now for almost a quarter century. And I'm very, very curious to see anybody else that reviews this and is going to watch it for the first time, because there will be a lot of you now. I'm going to just close this from some comments, which are not kind, but I said I would.
Can I rate it?
Yeah. Then I'll.
I was probably a harder on the first one than I needed to be to prove my point, but it is what it is. It's not the first time Fred's heard people not liking the movies. So, but I did turn on the second one. And while I didn't like the third one as much, for me, probably because I didn't have as much as that cucking in this one, I feel. I'm sorry, Fred. I wanted to see your character. Sorry, Peter. I want to see Peter cuck. So I'm a little lower. I'm a 3, but overall, I mean, I definitely think they're worth watching at least once. So
yeah,
Absolutely.
you gotta just like, especially if you're an extreme horror fan, you gotta
Maybe
go
not
down the
for
rabbit
date
hole.
night like this guy. That might get you in trouble with the lady in most
Well,
cases.
But if your lady likes fucking hardcore shit, hey, maybe show her this and see if she's about it.
Baby
Because if
steps.
she's about it, she's worth keeping.
There you go. But
There you
baby
go.
steps. Oh, fuck it. Just show it to her. It doesn't matter. She's
Well,
never
dude,
seen
I
a horror.
warmed her up with a Serbian film like back in March, so
Yeah, you knew you were
she
good.
was all right.
you got to go to
but-
a breeding farm to get into my perversions.
So-
Jesus Christ, dude, that movie sucks.
That movie is 5 stars.
That movie fucking sucks. You made me watch that piece of
You know
shit.
what?
I was
I
so
will
ready
say
for
this.
something.
I love that movie. But see, me, I'm gonna go with something like Death Escort Service over August Underground. That's just my type of,
Oh, because you like
Stuff.
your titties
happy.
more than
yeah.
titty
I like
shitty.
happy
I like
titties,
ass and titties. Is that the problem?
There you go.
but happy
Blo-
ass and titties.
Blood and tits, nothing better.
Happy blood and tits. That's okay.
It doesn't
But-
have to be happy blood and tits.
But I mean, Death Score and fucking what the fuck, Cannibal Claws, fucking Mr.
Oh,
Rub
that's
Roast over there, fucking.
If we're just talking gator bait, then yeah, everything's
So to close this show out on a negative note that is not going to dissuade anybody from watching.
Let's
these
go.
movies.
Let's hear these.
My buddy, our friend of the show, Mr. Bombastic. These movies are pure fucking shit. There is no story. Fuck Fred Vogel. I don't understand how anybody could want to watch these.
Well, guess
Yes,
what, Bombastic? Fuck you.
We love you, Jonathan. So that I close that out because that is a lot of opinions of these movies, and he has a very strong opinion of these movies. But once again, Fred Vogel, check out his other stuff, because if you don't like this trilogy, that doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy Red Sin Tower or Final Interview. He's not just these movies, and thank God, we talked to Serbian Film earlier. He hasn't directed anything else. He's been totally pigeonholed.
Hey, don't you start throwing my boy under the bus.
No, I'm just saying, but
Not
he
his
hasn't
fucking
escaped
fault, dude. Nobody wants to touch
Well,
him.
No, I understand that, but he hasn't been able to make anything else. And that's a shame because, Fred Vogel has. So check out Red Sin Tower first, I would say.
Final
you might have a
Interview.
different.
Are
Final
we-
Interview is
Are-
the newer one.
Are we getting underground unearthed resident tower?
My guess is that probably Unearthed is putting out.
Dude, I have a feeling they probably just like took the whole toe tag pictures, just like they did.
Yeah,
with
I wasn't
Ryan
sure.
Reynolds.
That's not inside info. We're not breaking any news.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all speculation. Steven, don't whip me, please.
I'm guessing. That's a guess. I'm assuming he has it all.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. Sometimes they discuss it in the group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll review it if they put it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I look forward to revisiting that one.
Yeah. They're not the same. Don't think that he just does the same thing over and over. So
do we got any more bad comments, Dan, or is that the only?
I know. I was hoping for more. I wanted the bag of hate.
Give me some more.
Oh God, I can't give you specific names now because a bunch of people like kind of weighed in general, but there have been some where it's like, oh, this is all just like bondage porn. There have been comments about
sounds like they fucking are boring in the bedroom.
Yeah, this isn't even bondage porn. Yeah, come on.
Those are like, those are the things. I've heard some people just say like, oh, just this is a weird one, but like there's snuff stuff in Videodrome and it's way more interesting. And I'm like, well, yeah, I like Videodrome more than I like August
Well, no
Underground.
shit, dumbass, but it's not the whole fucking movie. You're not getting the
No.
Videodrome fucking live feed, you dipshit. All right.
Yeah, video. These are just random comments. These aren't
No.
even people that I know, but I don't understand why they're even bothering to put this out. That's stupid because they're going to sell a lot of copies. That's why they're putting it out.
Well, especially because this has been like one of the most revered, or not revered, but the most cherished trilogies when it comes to extreme horror media. That's a very niche group of Blu-ray and DVD collectors, but motherfucker, those guys go hard sometimes, and this has been one that's been really high in price for a while. So Unearthed did say they are putting out a fucking full box set, so that's what I've been waiting on. I cannot fucking wait to get my hands on that. And
Unearthed's got some great shit. I can't wait for Profane exhibit to find.
dude, we gotta review Calamity of Snakes. Like that shit got fucking put out. We need to fucking we've been slacking a little on our Unearthed homeboys, but I think we need to maybe do an Unearthed show coming up because they've been putting out fucking killer shit. They especially over the last, I feel like 2 years, they've gotten some really, really big names. And we got Guyver coming out pretty soon too.
Oh yeah, we just reviewed Full Body Massage on Flesh Wound After Dark, so check that out. Unearthed is a great company. I love what they're doing. The Unearthed Classics line, which I never expected that we would have gotten Full Body Massage. So check out our review of that great Nicholas Roeg film. And yeah, so on that note, I think we've covered everything. As always, if you hate these films, if you love these films, please comment the video. It always helps, and we don't delete the negative shit. So if you think these movies suck, by all means, sound off. And if you love them, sound off as well. And that's all we got for now. So think happy thoughts and only have sex with the living is how I will end this.
Wow.
You don't tell me what to do, Dan Kruger.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.